Okay. Is it on? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we are, okay, we are group 13. We're covering multi-hospital systems and integrated healthcare networks. And you can go to the next slide. So a multi-hospital system, it is a system that is any combination of 2 or more acute care facilities under one ownership entity. The systems can either be proprietary or voluntary, and the geographic proximity of related healthcare facilities is a major contributor to increased profitability through the economies of scale. And we'll go over more examples in the next few slides of what exactly those things mean. Okay, so the next slide. So multi-hospital systems can be owned or managed. So the provider organizations such as hospitals, clinics, or physician groups can own them, or they can be managed under contract for other entities.
Joy, you still there?
Yeah, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah, sure. Sorry about that.
So some of the examples of the things that we're talking about, like HCA, the Hospital Corporation of America. It is a corporate hospital based out of Nashville, Tennessee. They employ large numbers of physicians, and they have contractual relationships with many others. They do not own a captive health insurance company. So for that reason, they are not a vertically integrated healthcare network, only a multi-hospital system. Where I live here in Minneapolis, there is an organization called Fairview, and from their website, it says that their services are award-winning. They're a nonprofit healthcare system which works to prevent illness and injury while also caring for the most complex medical conditions. And they work with many, many physicians and clinics and hospitals in this area. They also work they own the hospital portion of the University of Minnesota. And so they do all of those healthcare things. But they're a nonprofit organization, but they do not have their own insurance, or they don't provide, or own their own insurance company. And then where I'm originally from in Illinois, there's an organization called Southern Illinois Healthcare, which owns many hospitals and clinics in the area. And I work for a hospital down in Southern Illinois, and our hospital is part of the group purchasing organization with Southern Illinois Healthcare, even though we are not owned by them. We are associated with them through their group purchasing organization. So that was interesting when that all happened. So you can go on to the next slide. So one of the reasons, or some of the reasons that we would, as a patient, but also as an owner, choose a multi-hospital system is that you can purchase things at a lower cost. You can see the same provider year after year at multiple facilities, and you have the availability of seeing specialists in different types of physicians or types of clinics within the same umbrella of corporation. And also they have the same technology and referral patterns. So for example, with the Fairview Healthcare, I can go to any of their clinics here, and when I come home, I can log on to my chart with Fairview and look at my note from my visit. I can also get on and do any of the other things. It would be the same whichever clinic or hospital I go to. It would be the same things once I get home to get on and do whatever. It's all the same. So, slide. So the biggest difference, or the real difference between a multi-hospital service system and a vertically integrated system is that multi-hospital systems do not offer insurance, and vertically integrated hospitals, they provide insurance. It's all under the same umbrella. So, for example, Intermountain Healthcare is vertically integrated, but HCA and Fairview are just multi-hospital systems. So I think it's on to the next slide, and I think Kara will take over from here.
So vertically integrated are health delivery systems in which complete spectrum of care is given, including financial services. They're provided with the single organization, including health insurance. Next slide, please. So why do multi-hospital systems become vertically integrated systems? Like Joy said before, there's cost reduction and the market advantages by limiting competitors, and by that they can raise their premiums. Next slide, please. With a vertically integrated healthcare network, there's three components that make that up, which is the physicians who are employed or contracted to the system, and they own or manage their provider organizations, and they also own one or more captive health insurance companies. An example of this is on the next slide, and it is Intermountain Healthcare. This was interesting for me to learn about because my dad is a physician. He is a neuroradiologist and he works for Intermountain Healthcare, but he's part of a physician group as well, and he works at other hospitals in Boise. But it's interesting to learn that Intermountain was originally owned and managed by the LDS Church, and they founded it formed it in 1965. It has close geographic proximity among its facilities, which permits the system to centralize expensive programs and technologies in a small number of tertiary care centers, which is like how it's in Salt Lake City, and another one is in Boise that my dad works at. And so that's an example of the geographic proximity. It has an adult and pediatric tertiary care facility, which are both affiliated with the University of Utah's medical school. They have contractual and employment relationships with physicians, and they operate Select Health, a competitive health insurance provider. They have provider organizations, physicians, and health insurance that qualify them to be an integrated healthcare network. It was among the first multi-hospital systems to reform a group purchasing organization. Next slide, please. Physicians work as a team, so they coordinate their efforts with the vertically integrated network and the multi-hospital system, such as other physicians, pharmacies, hospitals, and labs. This is an example of how my dad works as his physician group, and then also at the Eagle Hospital, the Caldwell Memorial Hospital, the Boise Hospital, and they communicate and collaborate to increase their productivity in providing the highest quality of care. focus can remain on patients with the help of technology such as electronic visits or virtual consultation, and real-time information updates as well. This was our presentation of the vertically integrated and multi-hospital network systems, and hope you enjoyed it.
Okay, very good. I did. I enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing, both of you. A couple quick questions for you, then I'll let you go. So I guess first of all, for each of you, what would be one thing that stood out to you while you were researching out about both integrated and vertically multi-specialty hospitals?
I'll go first. I know for me, one of the things that stood out is that I didn't realize how many there were, and that they're very similar. And so the differences, though, of the things that make them different make them from the other one.
And so, Joy, if you could just very simply explain, you're saying it's a small difference between a vertically integrated network and then a multi-hospital.
Yeah, so like the small difference is that really the biggest difference from what I read about them is that the insurance component part of it. And so the vertically integrated, you're able to get insurance through that system. So when you go to the hospital or when you do different things, their insurance, I mean, it's the same organization that's giving you the insurance as is treating you. So that's really the biggest difference between the two types of systems, but that's a huge difference.
Good, thank you. Carrie, anything you want to add? Yeah, no, that's great.
For me, learning about this, I guess, so in my life, I've always been surrounded like by hospital talk and all that because of my dad, but I never really realized that there was a difference between certain hospitals and like the way that they're run and organized and how like the insurance thing, like, I'm pretty sure, I think I looked it up, it was the Intermountain Hospital. Is Blue Cross one of their insurance people?
They accept it. Their big one is Select Health.
Okay, no, yeah, Select Health, but I don't know, the insurance part of it was really interesting to me too, how they provide it for you and the other ones it's not. And so I don't know, the whole research behind this presentation, I was learning more about what I kind of already knew. And so I thought this whole thing was really cool and interesting to learn about.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate the time you put into it. We'll stop with questions from now. Usually I'll do a little bit more, but I feel bad because I was actually late to the meetup for Joy and Karen. I was going to apologize when we first got started, but I forgot. So I went swimming with my kids, got a little bit late getting home. So I'm sorry for both of you guys to do it a little bit late. But I appreciate your hard work and thanks for meeting up with me. I will let you guys go and thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.